Anyone that knows me will know that I'm a huge Porsche fan. But one of my favourites out of the 6 or 7 I've owned over the years has to have been the 981 Boxster S for reasons I'll go into. But unfortunately, it met with an untimely end before I could really put together some high quality video footage to accompany a thorough walkthrough. However, it felt remiss to at least not reflect on the things that made it great and give it a good send-off, because it was one of those cars that did truly take me on so many motoring adventures, give me so many good memories. And to me, it was going to be a bit of a future classic. It's one of the Boxsters that I felt the styling was most resolved on, but most importantly, it still had the 3.4 flat 6 or Boxster 6 that was missing on the later 4-cylinder turbo units. And it's one of the first few cars that I also let my fiance drive, and she absolutely loved it and was a complete convert after not liking Porsches. Now, if that's not the sign of and testament of how great a car it is, I don't know what is. Everything about it, from the electronic spoiler that lifted up at the back to how comfortable it was, the high-end Bose system, just made it a comfortable car to drive. But importantly, it still retained this rawness about it. It was smooth yet completely firm and compliant. There was no roll when you really took it exploring, and I used to do loads of Ks through the Blue Mountains in Sydney. Actually, I bought it by accident in Sydney when I was working over there, bought it back, and it became known as Porsche, as you can see, for obvious reasons. The 300 horsepower unit gave you just enough power to really wring its neck and get some enjoyment out of, without being overbearing, and somehow you didn't really feel like you yearned for more. It was so easy to drive the 981 quickly. It was so responsive, it was so communicative, and it was just precise in any sense of the word, and it sounded great. And I actually packed it up and drove it back across the Nullarbor all the way to Perth, where it took me on many adventures over the 2 to 3 years that I owned it. Anyone that is or isn't in Australia will know that this is a pair of kangaroos. And cute as they are, they're not known for their street smarts. They've got no natural predators, which means they don't really flinch too much when they hear big noisy cars. Now, this is a problem because the ute on my left was slowing down. I was doing 110 k's an hour, and I didn't realize he was slowing because a kangaroo had stepped out in front of him. This kangaroo then stepped out in front of me, leaving me split seconds to not be able to stop, but to be able to minimize the impact so it didn't hit me, roll over the windscreen, where the roof, of course, was open, and land on my lap or on my face, which, let's face it, probably would have, best case, given me a very bad injury, and worst case, absolutely killed me. Now, as it rolled over, it actually did some damage to the seat. Those specks you can see as the actual mess in the kangaroo's fur, which sprayed right past my face onto my seat. And he actually clawed the roll hoop, which sat inches from my face. The door card was obliterated. The window was up. That got smashed. And like I say, it clawed the roll hoop, and it literally was inches from my face, going at 110 k's an hour. As you can see, he was sizable too. He was about 6 foot tall, which probably puts him in the region of 90 to 100 kilos. As you can see, I actually came away not too badly injured. I got glass to the face, to the ear, a little bit to the eye, and the car took most of the brunt. Almost every panel in the car was damaged. I'll leave you with a walkthrough video that I did at the time to show you what the damage was like. Yo, so I'm still here, still alive and kicking. Got some bruises and cuts to my face. Got some glass in my eye and my ear still, but that's about as bad. Glass all over my body. That's not fun, but that's as bad as it gets. So I'm taking that as a win. But it's the first time I've had a look at the car in daylight. This is where it starts to get a bit crazy. So as you can see, it actually looks worse in the day. But my whole point was Skippy was standing around there. It was 6 foot tall, twice the height of the car, and I basically thought straight away if I hit him head on, he was gonna land about here, his body will roll up, and it was gonna fuck me up around here somewhere. So all I could do with a car in that lane was veer right, slam the brakes on, veer left, just to scrub off as much distance as possible, and to get him to hit as far towards this way with the car at an angle as possible. Point being, if I hit him like that and it's going this way, chances are he's going to roll off and deflect down the side of the car. And it worked to a degree, as much as it could have in the time I had. And but it's where it starts to get a bit crazy. So you can see it's obviously that it's where it's impacted. So that bonnet, that bumper is gone, the bonnet is gone. As you can see, that's not normal. It's not closing. Headlight, as you can see, it's caught something there, part of the impact. Done some damage here, obviously up there, there's a little crack on the windscreen. So I think what's happened is clearly it's rolled, hit there, and his body's swung around. As his body swung around, it has then hit the window here, which just stopped him from fucking me up, and then he's come away. But then when I look in here, obviously there's glass everywhere, but the glass is actually come with such force, it is embedded in the dash up here. But crazier still, it is embedded in the passenger's door card. That is glass that is literally pointy stuck into the door card, which is kind of why my face was so cut up, being right next to said window. But where it really gets a bit scary is you can see the force that it's taken has actually pulled this away. So it's actually taken that, so that's it. When it's hit with a lot of force. And where it gets even scarier still, which I've only just seen this for the first time, which is kind of blood chilling a bit. So obviously you can see something, whether it's glass or a nail or something, has hit here. Keeping in mind my head was here. This I assume is kangaroo shit. I'm not happy with that. So I'm glad I disinfected the cuts. And then obviously you can see all the damage to this roll hoop here, and the tonneau cover, and just where the roof is and stuff. So it's obviously something solid and hard, which can only really be a tooth or a nail, has literally been 6 inches from my head. And the only reason I feel that that it didn't land 6 inches that way is because there was a glass here. So literally the window, if you follow that one, would have literally have ended around here where it impacted, and that's just been enough to deflect it from here to there, which is, yeah, it's very scary, because that would have hurt. 100-kilo kangaroo to the head probably would have at least given me some bigger neck problems than I've already got. And then obviously, yeah, you can see it's done its last bit of damage and fallen on hard shoulder there. So yeah, very lucky. Sore, but very lucky.